your long night continued, and as the cold air settled into the city, the two of you had quite an eventful passing, leaving behind the bar that you had spent the first session in. All of you continued deeper into the city. You followed the wanton rioters, as well as the crowds of protesters. And after a somewhat eventful turn at the corner, you found yourselves at Piper's Place, where you dealt with some looters through some tough guy acts and intimidation as well. And you managed to procure some things for yourselves, specifically a pistol, as well as, I believe, some new clothes that you all were looking for, and a magnifying glass. That magnifying glass gives your study tests easy. Don't forget that.
That went to Chris.
Yes, it did. I think everything went to Chris. I think you even gave him the loaded dice that you guys found.
I did, yeah.
However, after procuring some things, and one of you being kind enough to leave behind some money for Piper if she ever makes it back to her shop, we'll see how the rest of the night goes. A flaming carriage rushed by, and the two of you rescued a certain individual from inside before they may have burned to death or died from the carriage collapsing on them. Do you remember that person's name?
Rami Alpha.
Yes. And he was a intern for the trade union, and he had been working at the councilship trade offices. And you guys used your intimidation again a little bit, but also the fact that he owed you a favor to use him not only to reach the councilship trade office and get inside, where you met Reginald Ashbury, the leader of the lower district's councilship trade office, one of the directors for the trade union. Yes. And you chatted with him for a little while, but you also used him to get to the upper district. Now, when you reached the upper district, and you found the trade square where all the main roads kind of like parted over that area, you also met a perfumes seller who you got some scuttlebutt from. She told you about kind of some of the activities. She mentioned the Light Theater, which is where the play that had been entitled Phantasm was canceled. And she mentioned some of the people that were there, such as the actor, Richard Nolan, as well as Esmeralda's mother. You guys remember her name?
Esther Gerwig?
Yes. And she also mentioned that I think one of you asked her about a local tavern, and she recommended some different ones to you guys, including the Proper, which was kind of the closest one. Yeah, and that was where your guys' investigation led you. Anything you'd like to add?
I would also like to add that I traumatized Rami by explaining mythos and that werewolves exist.
You did traumatize him with the werewolves. He's actually quite curious about the mythos in general.
He was, which is why I talked to him about it. I explained the difference between my wolfiness and lycanthropy.
Yeah. And Rami is never going to go out on a full moon again.
Exactly.
He did part ways with you guys after you got to the upper district.
He did.
But you guys were supposed to meet up with him for payment for saving his life the next day.
Yep.
And as the two of you leave behind the perfume stand, Chris, I believe you bought some cologne for yourself as well.
I believe I bought the perfume that Luna was following.
Yes, you did. Which was she'd said a popular perfume, but also pleasant. Someone knows.
And it was the one that Richard Nolan.
And as you kind of shiver against the winds that are starting to pick up on the cold night and the little glistening white specks of snow that are starting to fall, you know that the Lamplight Theater is near. The canceled Phantasm play seems to have some connection to the mystery that's unfolding. You know that there's also the residence of Nolan somewhere in this district. And where would the two of you like to begin the next leg of your investigation?
Well, I vote that we take the Tenafar system because it sounds fantastic and I have not yet ridden one.
Well,
okay. As the two of you and Luna following shots behind on the cobblestone reach one of the Tenafar discs, you see that they've got like kind of like these insets in the ground where the discs slide up out of the stonework and the cobblestone. And then as it slides up upon your approach, there's this hum, like this soft buzzing, and you can actually see like these ripples in the air. And a bar on the rails pulls back and opens.
How do you suppose we get this to work?
I don't know. Technology is far from my forte. Where are we even taking this thing?
To the theater?
I think last session you guys had said that you had wanted to go to like a tavern first. But you do know where the theater is if you want to go straight there.
We want to go to the tavern for like rumors or something.
That'd be good, and we'll save the theater for the morning when it's hopefully open.
Well, you do know that there was a performance tonight, so it's possible that there are still people at the theater. It is totally up to you.
Maybe we should start at the tavern here, see if there were any rumors going around about Richard Nolan and something nefarious.
Worth a shot, I suppose. Alright, Disc, take us to the closest tavern.
Do you step up on it?
Yes.
When you step up on it, it shifts softly under your feet, almost like it feels like it's like you're balancing it on water. And then once the two of you are on it and Luna kind of like begrudgingly follows, the rail goes back down and you hear some churning of metal, like gears shifting under your feet. And then you see a post kind of pop up from like a lid that slides back on the disc floor, and it flips open and it's got like a big directory. And you can like shift and move and like a little pinpoint on it, and as you do that, as you grab the handle and you like shift it, you can see it's like lighting up different areas like streets and stuff.
Ah, it's manual.
Do you know what street the nearest tavern is on?
Is there any sort of list on this?
Yeah, if you want to, you can like flip the directory over. It's kind of like a heavy page, and the little controller like just kind of like pops through to the next section, and you can find one that's more like landmarks if you want. And you do see the Lamplight Theater there. You see the District Hall. You see It looks like there's like a nightlife section, and you would see the proper is listed there. It looks like to you that it's saying from this point to that point, it's like 3 or 4 connections. So it's actually not even that far away on foot. You probably get there pretty quick on the disc.
Well, the disc is far more exciting.
True. Do you want to choose that?
Yeah.
Okay. You
slide it
drop the pin. You drop the little controller, like the pinpoint, down on that section, and it lights up. And the churring shifts, and then that buzzing gets a little bit louder, and the disc shifts upwards and starts floating through the stream of kind of like twisting in the air, kind of down the road, but it's like 10 feet in the air basically, and you're just standing on it. There are rails to hold if you want.
I'm gonna look very uneasy and grab the rail, and
Luna's definitely like growling.
Yeah, I'll also like be holding on to Luna kind of at my side.
She's just gonna look up at you. I don't like this.
I don't like this either. This should be the last time we ride one of these.
Very unnatural.
This thing is
Agreed.
fantastic. We should take this everywhere.
No.
I don't like him.
No, you're just saying that right now because you don't like this.
He never gives me any tasty treats.
That is true.
It kind of shifts to a stop. You see a large lit sign that says the proper outside of a red brick building that's kind of built up into a rounded dome top. A few people are stepping down 3 or 4 short steps to an arched door. As all of you are getting off, a couple other Tinafar discs arrive at the other 2 slots on either side of you, and some people get off and head in different directions. Clearly, this area of the town is fairly active, even at night, even going on past midnight, like all of you are now. As you approach those steps, you see that there's 2 well-dressed bouncers outside of this club, and everyone that's entering is fairly affluently dressed as well. Unfortunately, the 2 of you are not, even with your new clothes. But, Josh, there's something that concerns your character even more. Painted on the red brick by the front door, it says no pets allowed.
Well, it's a good thing that Luna's a companion and not a pet.
I don't think they'll see it that way.
I'll grow my claws. I can be very persuasive.
Well, I know you can, but you're not trying to persuade me. We need to persuade them.
True. You can always try and find a back way in.
Well, you could start with that. I'd like to see if they'll just let me in.
I'll head to the entrance.
Okay. The 2 of you walk together. The line kind of clumps outside the door, but it moves pretty quickly through. A couple of people get kicked away from the door by the bouncers because they're already clearly too drunk to be inside. And then the 2 of you find yourselves, along with Luna, standing in front of these 2 doormen. One crosses his arm, and the other one shakes his head and says, "Get out of here, you 2. How'd you even get over here?" The one who says that, he reaches out, Philium. And he actually puts 2 fingers to your breast coat. It's not aggressive. He just lifts it slightly and then lets it go. And perhaps come back with some proper clothing next time.
How did we get here? Why? We took the Tinafar, and might I say, what a fantastic trip that was.
First
We
time.
shall never be doing that again.
Oh, he panics quite easily.
It was very unnatural.
Look, it's great that the two of you have managed to find yourselves in a position to be here in the upper districts, but we're full.
If you're so full, why did the line keep moving so quickly?
It had to stop somewhere, I guess. We'll see you later. Have a good night. Take your dog with you.
You have a good night as well. And I'm going to just pat his shoulder and walk inside. Or motion like I'm walking inside.
He's going to lift a gloved hand and just like put it to your chest. When your chest hits it, it's firm. Both of these guys are pretty big and they're pretty strong. I don't think you get what we're saying, friend.
I'm going to elbow Bernard. You're persuasive, right?
I don't think you understand. We need to get in this tavern, as we are conducting an investigation for the constabulary. And it has led us here.
For the constabulary?
Yes. There's been a murder that we believe is linked to the riots.
All the ones causing trouble south of the gate?
Yes, those would be the ones.
Damn protesters. Trouble always follows them. They kind of look at each other, and then they look back to you. Alright, fair enough, but your dog's got to stay outside.
She gets quite violent if she's not at my side. I believe it's in everybody's best interest if she stays with me.
Make a persuasion test. This is a target number of 12.
12? No, if I can hit a 12.
I'll help if I can.
No, I can hit a 12.
You're trying to get them to break like a hard rule. Like they're not supposed to let animals.
I'll help if I can.
How would you like to help? Are you trained? Do you have any ranks in persuasion?
I do.
No.
Yeah, you can't help if you don't have ranks. You could use momentum to drop it to a 9.
I was going to use momentum to drop it to a 9.
All right, your roll is a 9.
$11.
They look back and forth, and then they look to you. Fine, here. One of them reaches back behind their little like post and moves around, shifts his hand around inside of a crate, and he pulls out a leash and he hands it to you. You gotta take one of these though, otherwise you're just gonna get stopped inside.
Very well. I'll crouch down and put it on Luna.
Hey.
Don't worry, dear. It's just temporary.
I'm going to eat their hearts.
Perhaps later. We don't want to cause a scene right now.
Fine.
Excellent job, Bernard. Let's go.
As the two of you walk past and open the door, as it's closing behind you, you hear one of them say to the other one, was that guy just talking to his dog?
Wolf, actually.
Just don't cause any trouble in there.
She is the best trained wolf you will ever see.
Undoubtedly.
A soft trail of music and a cacophony of voices fills the proper, entering the door that's just below street level. The sounds of carriages and Tinefar fields that carry the discs softly buzzing through the air, for those that don't want to walk, are absorbed by the stone walls, wood beams, and leather that fill this space. A central bar with rounded sides serves the guests of this large establishment in all directions, with several bartenders working the extended counter space. It kind of creates this slow, undulating shift of customers moving around it as they get their drinks and then they find their seats amongst the tables or more privately the booths. Observing the space, you can tell that this is probably one of the more popular establishments in the area. Some other bouncers or and alternate doormen that are walking through the place, just making sure nothing gets too rowdy. They're occasionally making eye contact with the two of you, and especially looking at Luna, but continuing on once they see that she's, at the very least, leashed. And what would the two of you like to do?
I believe we've now entered your realm of expertise, my friend.
I say we mingle a bit. See what we can find out from the locals.
Very well.
And,
would you like to split up, or would you like to...
Well, you should at the very least make a rounds, see if Luna picks up the more of that perfume from anyone in here. Could be a good sign.
Very well. We will do around restaurants, and you can speak at the patrons. I'll take Luna and just start.
Go to make a perception test for me. Philium, as Bernard leaves you along with Luna, where would you like to go?
I'm gonna go to the bar.
Alright. Once you reach the bar, rather portly, hooked bartender with a hooked mustache and that's kind of like waxed out to the tips shifts, and he smiles looking at you. Well, hey, friend. How can we help you today?
I would like something light on the alcohol this evening.
Fair enough, fair enough. A double, though.
Of course.
I like double. Perfect, that's like one normal. He'll turn around, he'll start just mixing a completely random drink. And then he'll sit it down in front of you.
So, can you tell me, does one Richard Nolan frequent this establishment?
Nolan. Yeah, I mean, he's been here before. I'm sure we're not the only place he likes, but,
I was hoping to meet with him. He's quite good.
Well, I hate to tell you, but I think he's I guess you'd say, primary investor in the Lamplight, so if you're trying to recruit him for your theater, it's going to be difficult.
Oh, no. I merely just wish to meet him.
Oh, you're just an enjoyer of the arts.
Yes.
Well, I've heard that he can be quite, he can be quite gentlemanly with those that serve a purpose. If you pay him enough, I'm sure he'd even take a picture with you.
Well, that is something.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of these thespians. They come in and they make a lot of noise. They act as though they are celebrity. He's like kind of looking past you. Celebrity. Is that guy got a wolf?
Huh. So he does.
That's weird.
How on earth did he get past the bouncers with that?
Well, sometimes they give people leashes. I'm surprised they gave the guy with the wolf a leash, though. Hey, Jerry, look, this guy's got a wolf. Some of the other bartenders are looking over in his direction. How's that drink?
Well, it's quite nice, actually. Thank you.
A little minty. A little minty.
What is this one called? I'm gonna have to get it again.
I'm gonna be honest. You just told me to make anything, so I just threw some stuff together. Let's call it a mint drink. Jerry behind him turns and looks at him. You're terrible at this. Shut up, Jerry.
Mint drink. Got it.
It's some sour, there's some mint, and alcohol.
Yes.
You said you liked whiskey, right?
I didn't, but it works.
Oh, well, you do now. And it's a light double. Just for you, friend.
Well, short of Noland being here, would you happen to know of if anyone of the Gerwig family stops by this establishment?
Haven't seen any of them in a while. As far as I know, Well, Esther hasn't been seen much since her last play got canceled, and her daughter, Esmeralda?
Yes.
She spends most of her time in the lower districts for some strange reason. I mean, I live there, and I work here, but that's just because I can't afford to live here. She can't. I don't know what she's doing down there.
Perhaps she likes it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that's strange. You don't think that's strange, friend?
Well, I mean, people are prone to like different things, are they not?
I mean, if you're choosing between, like, more violent area to sleep at night and less violent area to sleep at night, you'd think you'd choose the less violent area, though, no?
Well, perhaps she's more a violent type.
Interesting. I hadn't really thought of that. Hopefully she hasn't killed anybody. You want another one?
I'm still nursing this one,
Okay.
but thank you. Is there anybody in here who might know a thing or two about them?
He kind of leans on the bar looking around, and then he looks at you. Hey, like, I'm not gonna be getting somebody in trouble or something.
Oh, no. I just merely want to have a chat. They're close family friends of mine.
Well, he points to a booth to the side, and you see in it kind of an anxious, thin like a post man sitting hunched over a drink. He looks like he's constantly sweating, basically, and it's kind of like a nervous flop sweat. Well, that's Arnold. He's the stage manager at the Lamplight. Generally anxiety-ridden. Most of the people that are there are probably still there. They had a show tonight, but he gets here as quick as he can.
Hey, well, thank you very much.
All right, friend. That's 2 DeMarcs for the drink.
Oh, of course. Here you go. I'll give him 3.
Hey, thank you very much. As you turn to walk away, you hear him turning back to Jerry. Jerry, you talk shit about me naming drinks one more time, and they start like bickering with each other. And as you walk back through the crowd, what'd you get on your perception test?
I got a 5. Would Luna also roll a perception
I did
test?
roll for her.
Okay.
I did roll for her. And,
hopefully she did better than I did.
she got an 11, so...
Sweet.
You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Luna never signals in any way that she's caught a familiar scent. She does, however, shift and growl, kind of walking through your legs once you're all the way on the other side, and you just briefly you see a man in a fairly heavy coat, and he is like actively watching you. He's watching you from like one of the more crowded areas. And as you kind of turn and look at him, he shifts and he starts to walk through a back hall in the establishment.
Okay.
I don't like that one.
Do you have his scent?
Not close enough, but he was definitely staring at us.
That he was.
I could follow him, perhaps.
If we walk near that door, do you think you'd be able to pick up his scent?
I need a piece of cloth or clothing, something that's been on him.
Was he holding a drink or anything?
Nothing.
He sat down?
You want to go over there and investigate?
Yeah, I want to go to where he was sitting and see if I can't find...
All right.
Either Luna can pick it up from the seat he was on, or...
You kind of shift and walk, moving with Luna as cautiously as you can, trying not to be noticed through the crowd. You reach the booth. Go ahead and make a study test for me.
Study test.
Yeah.
I am terrible.
This is against a target number of 8.
I can technically hit that.
could use momentum.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, yeah, momentum wouldn't have helped.
Nope.
I'm just trying to get this other one out of this bowl. Then it's mine for the name, you know?
Yeah. Not when I'm rolling 2d4.
Luna sniffs through the booth as well, but the two of you are not able to find anything left behind by him. Well, better than nothing. At least we know somebody. And then she stops and she looks up at you. We should tell our friend the detective. I have a feeling he'll think this means we're on to something. We've gained somebody's notice.
Yes, I was about to suggest the same thing. I was just hoping we could catch a scent so that we could follow him a little easier.
She nods. Maybe he'll follow us and we won't have to worry.
That would be ideal. Let's go meet up with Philium.
Philium? They're still on the other side when you first approach Arnold, the stage manager.
Arnold, my good man, how are you?
Do I know you?
I don't think you do, but I know you. Stage manager, as a note.
Yes?
I'm gonna sit down next to him.
Oh, you got a mint drink also?
Yes.
Kind of a shitty name for a drink.
It is. They should really make better names.
He pounds like the whole bottom half of his in one just solid gulp. He
Tough
sits
night?
it down. Always a tough night. 2 of the lights went out. The violinist, she just passed out midway through the 3rd act.
Huh.
During a solo. No big deal. Not a big deal. Arnold should have known that, or whatever. I'm tired.
You sound tired.
Thanks, I guess. What do you want?
So what can you tell me about Richard Nolan?
God. I don't speak about colleagues to reporters, friend.
Oh, I'm not a reporter, I assure you.
I'm not interested in any kind of gossip column about Arnold, the stage manager, telling all, or dissing his boss, Richard Nolan, or anything like that. So, if you could please just leave me alone.
Side question. Do
Yes.
I have, like, a business card or something?
Do you want to have a business card?
Yeah.
I don't know if business cards existed at this
All right.
time period. You think business cards exist? Let's find
Maybe
it.
he's an innovator. Maybe Philium started the trend.
First business cards were used by aristocrats and royalty in 15th century China. That makes sense because I think that they were also the first printing press. Okay. Philium, what is your business card that you produce for him?
It probably just says Philium Howell, private investigator.
Oh, God. You work for his wife. I don't know about any extramarital affairs or whatever you're trying to catch him in, but I hope you catch him, alright?
Not a fan, I see.
I don't think anyone's a fan. Well, except maybe Esther. You know what you should do? You should try to catch him with Esther. That would make his wife very happy and get you paid.
Would you happen to know where he frequents?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I might remember, but I need a little liquid courage first. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna slide him the rest of my drink.
He picks it up. As he places it down, Bernard, you're walking up to the booth.
We made a new friend, Philium.
He shifts and he looks at you, and then he looks at the wolf, and he shifts back in the booth a little bit. Oh, God. Just what I need. A private detective and now a Wolver nationalist. Jesus.
Be still, Arnold. This wolf is fine. You're about to tell me where Nolan frequents.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot for just a moment. I was thinking about how I needed another drink. Well, if you're looking for places Nolan frequents, I would say you need to keep climbing, friend, because Nolan has a lot of friends, and most of them are high up. You know, his father is a major player in the trade union.
Is he now?
Yes, he is. Let's just say he's a child of nepotism, as is often the case. We have a new actor too. He's looking to be the next Richard Nolan when Nolan gets too old. Every 10 years or so, when they start to show wrinkles, they get replaced by another one, and somehow each new one doesn't expect it to happen. I think his anyways, this new kid, Anthony, he's the nephew of a Reginald Ashbury. Another nepo baby. Then he turns and he looks at you, Bernard, and he goes, "Go get me a drink."
I am not a server here.
Well, why are you standing there then? What do you want?
He is my associate.
Oh.
As is the wolf.
That doesn't... The wolf's a detective?
Yes.
She's very good at finding people.
Well.
Keen nose.
Quite right.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, my grandfather had a spaniel with a keen nose. I need another drink.
And where do you think Esther would be?
Esther? Rotting in her manor, no doubt. Haven't seen her in months. She didn't even come in to read for our current play. Night of the Fox Lilies, by the way. It's quite a good work. Original.
We'll have to take interviewing.
Yeah, you know, I could get you some tickets, but I need more alcohol first.
That is quite tempting. And where did you say this manor was?
Oh, it's here in the district. It's past the Theater House thoroughfare. There's a little hill. It's got a few old residences sitting on it. Some of the originals of this district, their families put their homes there because they sponsored a lot of the early playhouses. They like to be nearby their creations, as it were.
Makes sense.
You always know it's hers because there's a large granite statue in the front yard. It's of a mermaid. Big bosoms.
Well, that is something I would like to see. And so would Bernard, right?
I'm always a fan of seeing the big bosoms.
You know, I might be drunk, but I still feel the need to warn you that it's pretty weird for two random strangers and a wolf to show up at your house at 1 a.m., so good luck with that.
I'm not saying we're going there now.
No, that's a good call.
Will you have a great night, Arnold?
I want to die.
Don't we all sometimes, friend?
I can't help you with that.
Not as much as I do. Right now. He slumps forward on the desk.
So, Bernard, you find anything?
There was a man who was very curious about me until we noticed him. He headed out that back door there.
Perhaps we should follow? How long ago was this?
How long ago was this? 5 minutes, maybe?
Yeah.
It was about 5 minutes ago.
Well,
Me and
let's
Luna
see.
tried to pick up his scent, but were unable to in the crowd.
Well, let's see if we can find him. I don't know that we'll get much more out of this place. Our informants fell asleep.
Oh, I mean, that's one way to put passed out drunk.
Yes. Shall we?
Yes. I'll start heading to the back door that the guy in the heavy coat went through.
Okay. The two of you walk down a fairly long hall. You pass by a kitchen where there's a bustling of activity. There's also another side door that looks like it leads down into a cellar where a lot of the extra alcohol is stored for when they need to refill things at the bar. And then there's a sliding back door that opens into an alley. It is currently open. Additionally, it looks like there's a body slumped outside on the cobblestone.
Oh, I'm gonna go up and check the body really fast.
I'm going to whisper. I'm going to put a hand on Philium's shoulder before he goes. Do you hear anything outside, Luna? Are we walking into an ambush?
She shifts her head and her ears perk up. I don't hear anything. Nothing abnormal.
Well,
She looks at the body and then she looks back to you. It's one of the bouncers.
one of the bouncers. That is interesting. Luna does not sense anybody else outside, but that she does say that is one of the bouncers' bodies.
Well, it hasn't been more than 10 minutes yet. What could have happened out here that led to this?
Maybe our heavily coated friend came upon him and did not like him.
Well, let's see
You
what
moving
we have.
cl-
I'm gonna,
Moving closer, William.
yeah, I'm gonna check if he's alive or just unconscious.
Make a study test for me.
As we're
Can I
nearing the
use
back
the
door, I'm going to
magnifying
take off.
glass?
Yeah, you sure can. It's an 8 normally, though. Drop it to a 5.
As
What
we
did
get
you-
closer to the back door, I'm going to take off Luna's leash and just drop it inside.
Thank you.
6.
It looks like he's been struck on the back of the head by a blunt object. He's alive. But it definitely, cracked the back of his skull.
Well, I dare say you should probably grab somebody from inside, one of the employees. This man is alive, but he will need medical attention.
I have a better idea. I'll reach down and I'll cast heal on him.
I didn't want you to waste your...
You might
well.
have valuable information.
Well, he was struck on the back of the head. Maybe he saw something.
That is my hope.
He rolls over
Hello again.
and looks up at the two of you. He's looking pretty confused.
How many fingers am I holding up?
3?
Oh, it was close enough. How are you feeling?
My head hurts a lot.
That makes sense. You were struck in the back of the head. By any chance, did you see anyone?
I was just doing my normal rounds around the building. Make sure people aren't trying to sneak in any of the entrances, you know? And there's some weird guy. He's lingering at the doorway watching people. Told him to get his pervert ass out of here, and I don't know, he just got around behind me so fast. There's nothing I could do. Hey, don't tell my boss, okay?
Was this man wearing a heavy coat by any chance?
Yeah, one of those trench coats that's all the rage nowadays.
I did see him inside. Do you remember letting in the man?
I didn't let him in. I could smell that guy was off. I wouldn't have let him anywhere near the place.
Must have snuck in between your rounds.
Yeah, or something. Like I said, don't tell my boss.
Did you recognize him or know him from anywhere?
His face was covered. It was covered by some kind of porcelain mask. It looked like porcelain anyways.
Well, while he's talking to the bouncer, could I start, taking in the scene of the attack?
Sure.
And, try and see if there's any...
Recreated in your head? Sherlock Holmes style?
Yeah, and, see if I can figure out where he went or something?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a study test. The target number, if you want to take in all the possible details of the scene, is going to be 15.
I do have a thing for this. Clue finder. Oh, that's specifically for an object. Would I be able to do that for the space?
Sure.
Yeah, so I can spend 10 minutes closely studying an object. And then I can take a 16 study roll by default instead of rolling.
About 5 minutes into this, or let's say about 7 minutes into this process, which we are going to make Chris describe how his character does this process-wise, but to buy him a little bit of time. The bouncer, who's now leaned up against the wall, still trying to kind of recover from dizziness, is looking at you, Bernard, and he says, "Is this a thing he does, or?"
As I said earlier, we are investigators.
Yeah.
He gets very focused on his work when studying the scene.
Chris, why don't you go ahead and describe how Philium studies the scene?
Probably as Bernard is healing the bouncer, I'm taking my magnifying glass to the back of his head, see if I can figure out what the impact is from before it starts healing over, and then taking that magnifying glass from where he was laying, tracking any blood splatter that happened from the attack, and then very cartoony, just down, bent in half, with the magnifying glass just above the ground, walking in ever increasing circles around the bouncer where he was.
Takes you another 3 minutes going through this process, but eventually you have a few things on your mind. One, you find what appears to be a handkerchief in a puddle that's kind of built up into a recess of cracked cobblestones. It has some blood stains on it and other gunk. It looks like it's something that somebody was keeping in their pocket. It's torn, maybe it was tossed out of the coat in the physical struggle. Additionally, you find bits of what appear to be like a bronze, metal, very shavings almost. It's very thin, it's flaked. It flaked off in the strike. Also, you're pretty sure that the footsteps of the man led off into the alleys in the general direction of the theater thoroughfare. don't really have a trail to follow, but you can tell the general direction that he left the scene.
I will collect those metal shavings and that handkerchief. If I have like a little pouch, I can put those in.
You have whatever you like to bring to the scene with you to collect evidence.
I'd probably have like a little empty, or probably a couple little empty coin purses.
Sure.
For collecting evidence. We have something, and it seems that they headed off towards the playhouses.
Interesting.
This metal could be bits that came off of their weapon that they struck our friend here with.
Do you get anything off of this? Huh?
When you hold the handkerchief down to her, she takes her time sniffing through like every part of the fabric, and then she lifts her head. I'll recognize the scent if I'm close to it again.
Very good. I do have the command track, which remain in the same plane, and 100 miles of the creature, she can follow its scent and track its location.
Do you want her to just start tracking?
When we're ready to go, I'll suggest that to Philium.
The bouncer stands back up, rubbing his head, and he starts to walk towards the arch of the door, and he turns and he looks back at the two of you once he's inside the arch, and he says, Don't come back here. And he closes the door.
Why on earth would we do that?
He's not very grateful. I just saved his life.
Well, give him a break. He's got head trauma.
It's fair. He probably wasn't the brightest to start with either.
He's not going to remember us next time he sees us anyway.
Probably not.
Philium was an early adopter of CTE.
And Matt, when he described him wearing a porcelain mask, was he wearing a porcelain mask inside?
I'm going to say that because of the vantage point, you didn't really get a good look at the person's face. It was more like you knew that you were being watched from a distance, but the shadows that were being cast under the arch of the hall made it hard to see detail about the person. You could tell that they had a masculine body. They were tall with broad shoulders.
Okay. Well, Luna has picked up the scent from that handkerchief, if you would like us to follow it.
Oh, yes, excellent. Lead the way, Luna.
She trots out ahead of the two of you. As you leave behind the proper, she begins to lead you through the different alleys. These alleys always eventually have options to lead back to the main road, but it seems as though this person you're following wanted to be as unnoticed as possible during their movements. With Luna only leading you out of the alleys and back onto the main road, when all of you stand directly across from the lit entrance of the Lamplight Theater. Its large text name kind of texted into the signposts out front, which are all made up of dangling lamps from which it gets its name. You can hear noise and see lights from inside, even though it looks like those that had come to to even the late show this evening have cleared out already. It's more the sounds of an after-show soiree, a after party for the actors and crew that want to remain behind and celebrate going into the next week of shows. There's one guy lingering out front of the door smoking a cigarette. He's tall, and he's wearing kind of like a mottled cap. And he's pretty dirty. He looks like he's probably a crew member.
How are you doing this evening, sir?
Fine, I guess. No major injuries. The crowd seemed to enjoy the show. How about you two? Oh, she's cute. Can I pet her?
Absolutely. If you have a treat, she'd like that even more.
He starts to rifle around in his pockets, and he hands Luna a bit of jerky and then pets her head. You know, my mother, she was raised by a wolf. I'm just kidding. That'd be crazy. Wait, what? What did you say? You said you were raised by a wolf?
Oh. Did you happen to see a man in a very heavy coat walk by?
Not that I noticed. I just stepped out for a smoke. I've had one or two too many tonight, I think.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm really drunk. He turns and he looks at you, and then he looks back down at Luna, and he says, "Not very often you meet a man with two wolves, after all." Wait, what were you talking about? Did you want to smoke?
Absolutely.
He'll hand you a cigarette. He'll hand you the cigarette that was in his mouth, and then go, "Oh wait, I'm sorry," and then he'll hand you a fresh one.
Thank you very much.
And he'll hand you a matchbox because he seems not coordinated enough to light it himself. Didn't we look this up once, and it was like lighters that were created before matches or something crazy like that?
Yeah. It was.
He tries to hold out the lighter, and he like flicks it a few times, and he just, you can handle that, right? And he'll just hand it to you.
Although if they buy it from
Good. They're a lot easier than a Tenafire disc, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, but those were quite fun.
if anyone
We will have to agree to disagree on the Portfolium.
They're useful, for sure. Hard to use during the day, though. You have to have one of those passes or whatever you buy from the Trade Council. Needless to say, I mostly walk around.
It is the far better option, friend.
Yeah, my mom used to always say, "Go for a walk, asshole."
What a charming woman.
Love you, Mom. Sorry, what? What were we talking about?
So you did not see anyone running by here?
it paid off.
No, I didn't see anybody running by. No.
Briskly walking,
No.
trench coat and a mask?
Mask? What kind of mask?
Porcelain.
Oh, porcelain mask? Yeah, there was a weird guy with a porcelain mask.
But no trench coat.
You know, come to think of it, I think he did have a trench coat.
Excellent. Which way did this man go?
I asked him if he wanted to smoke, and he said maybe you should go home. But you want to be honest with you?
Yes.
I've been living in the attic here for a while now.
Oh, so the joke's on him. You are already home.
I am already home. But I don't know, it was weird the way he said it. Like, it was more like saying, you don't want to be here. You know that vibe?
I would highly recommend finding another place to sleep tonight. That man has already attacked and nearly killed one person this evening.
Oh, interesting. You know, I did notice he had tucked in his belt this weird, like, scepter thing. Like, it was rounded. It had kind of like a copperish hue, I guess, or bronze, maybe?
Bronze,
That
yes.
is probably our
Yeah.
weapon.
Yes.
It looked like the kind of stuff you'd see in that kooky Museum of Mythos.
Oh. And which way did you go?
That way.
I'll look to Luna to confirm if that's the direction the scent is headed in.
He's here somewhere. This man is drunk.
That he is.
Maybe we should try to convince him to go for a walk. Actually, it might be safer to just knock him out. Leave him in a bush.
No, we can't control everybody.
I don't want to eat this one's heart. He gave me beef jerky.
That he did. I'll clap the guy on his shoulder and go, "No, friend. They were letting anybody in at the proper and giving away free drinks."
Make a deception test. It's like a 4.
I mean,
This guy's really drunk.
Let's see. Hold on. I do have the honest to a fault.
Oh, true. That doesn't.
Use your bluff skill. I do so with difficulty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
so it's going to be
for
an
long
8
rest.
for
You
then.
can automatically make me fail if you
I
want
can. I'm not going to choose to do that on this test, but that is going to make it what I say was a 4. It's going to make it a 7.
I'm not good at bluffing, Chris.
I keep saying
I rolled a
deception
4.
because I don't know my own game, but it is in fact a bluff. A 4 in the prop. There's no way they're going to let me in a prop where I'm covered in oil and soot, friend.
Damn. Really need to practice lying, Philium.
A lot
I don't
Luna's-
know that you need to do that.
Luna's just going to snort. You really are terrible at it.
I know, it's just...
Why, that's one of the things I love most about you, Bernard.
Philium the fool. And it just growls to you.
Well, friend, either way.
Look,
should
you can
head
go
somewhere
inside.
else tonight.
You can go inside and get a drink if you want. There's just a few of us left here.
Do I know how much a room would cost in the upper district at like a...
It'd probably be pretty expensive. It'd probably be more than either of you have on hand.
We have 15 Dakotas and 5 Demerks. With that,
Probably
Not-
not.
I'm gonna... How much would it cost in the lower district? For a room?
Not very much. You could, like a couple of the marks.
I'll give him my 5 Demerks and tell him, why don't you head to the inner city and get a room for the night?
Thanks. I guess, man. It'll be like a vacation. He'll put it in
That
his
is
pocket and he'll hand you another fresh cigarette, Philium. Enjoy. And he'll stumble off down the road. Philium, right, just about after he's out of sight, you would remember that you have his lighter.
Oh, well.
So you can add a lighter to your inventory.
Shall we?
Yes. Continue following the scent. Or did you want to stop in for the party?
He's here.
Luna is saying his scent leads to here. So he
Well, he
might
is
very
in the
well
party.
be in the party.
I see. Well then. I'll waltz in like I own the place.
Okay. You enter the large entryway room, the waiting area that's kind of makes up the outer room of the theater. You can see the double doors on either side of the box office that lead into the theater itself, as well as the steps that round on either side up to the upper level seats of the theater and those doors. There's another man lingering in this hall, and it sounds like most everyone else is inside of the actual theater itself. He's also quite dirty, and he shifts and he stands up, not looking in your guys' direction, but slowly turning. Oh, Archie, finally. Jesus, another smoke taking forever. Let's go, man. We gotta finish the teardown and go to bed. You're not Archie.
I'm not?
Yeah, man, you're not Archie.
What'd you say your name was?
My name?
Yes.
Crane. My name's Crane. I'm one of the stagehands.
Crane.
Do you operate a crane for the stage?
What? I mean, no. My name's Crane. I just move the sets around.
Oh.
Yeah, no, Bernard. We were meeting Crane, and apparently Archie's gone, but we're here to help. Remember?
Archie was just outside smoking, man. Where is he gone?
We didn't see
I
anyone
saw
outside.
him headed to the lower district.
Oh, lower districts.
His eyes light up. Oh god! You said you here to help with the teardown?
Absolutely.
He
Why else would we be
He
here?
reaches in his coat and he pulls out a ring of keys and he hands it to you. Hold on to these. I gotta stop him. Every time he goes down there, it gets worse. Archie! And he runs off.
Thank you.
Oh, looks like we managed to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh then,
Hopefully he doesn't
Where does
catch up
this-
to Archie.
where does this scent lead?
I'll look to Luna.
She's like sniffing around the room. She looks like she's like onto something, but she's kind of directionless at the moment, like she's trying to figure it out. He's here somewhere.
Oh, let's take in the room.
Go to make perception tests. Target number is 12.
I'm decent at these.
Oh, 9.
14.
There's no details in the room that lead you guys to feeling like you found any clues. However, Bernard, you notice that at the top of the right set of steps, leaning on the railing, looking down at the two of you curiously as you search the room, is a fairly young, well-dressed thespian of a man. He's got a wisp of a body and kind of like a hooked nose, and he's watching you through a pair of rounded glasses.
I'll I'll get Fillian's attention and go, I believe we might have found Mr. Noland, or at least somebody who was acting in the play with him. And I'll point.
Oh. Well spotted, Bernard. Let's go introduce ourselves.
As you approach the top of the steps, he kind of leans off the railing and he looks at all of you. He's carrying kind of like a delicate drink in his hand. Yes.
It is nice to meet you, sir. I am Philium Howell.
The detective?
You've heard of me.
I believe I have. Anthony Ashbury.
The new actor.
Yes. I am the most recent actor to take up residency here at the Lamplight. This is actually my first play. Doing quite well for myself. I am, after all, main co-star.
So you're liking it quite a bit, then?
It's a bit drab, but until my uncle is ready to help me fund my own playhouse, it'll do.
Oh, Everyone's got to start somewhere.
I suppose. Listen, if you're a couple of the stagehands, they should have started teardown quite a while ago, so you probably shouldn't be wasting your time talking to me. I believe you have quite a bit of cleaning to do.
Did you see a man in a porcelain mask, by any chance?
A porcelain mask.
Yes.
Have you even seen Night of the Fox Lilies?
I take it one of the characters wears one.
He shifts to the side, and you see him move something with his hand as he pulls a porcelain mask up to his face. We all have them. They're for the play.
Did you happen to see a man in a trench coat wearing a porcelain mask come through here within the last...
A trench coat
It's a
and a
while.
porcelain mask. I'm trying to think. Oh, yes. Roger. Huh. He's a character who has a trench coat and a mask in the play. Played by Richard Nolan himself.
Oh.
The washed-up bastard. Like he'd ever stay for one of these parties. No, I don't think I've seen him. Try somewhere else, perhaps. After you finish Teardown, of course, which you should be doing.
Where do you guys keep the outfits for your play? Is it backstage with...
Costumes, yes. Backstage. It's a room right next to the locker where you'll find all the props and things. Make sure everything goes back in place. It's very clearly labeled by Arnold. So you shouldn't be able to mess it up too much, yes?
Perfect. Well, you enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, you too. If you could do me a favor, and when you're coming back through with some things, bring me another drink as well.
Absolutely.
He shifts. Mary, where have you gone? And he just kind of wanders off like he's looking for somebody.
I don't think he'll remember us either.
I hate actors.
I do as well. There's a reason we get along so well.
Because we don't like anybody.
Yes.
Well,
And those people who take care of us.
no luck on that scent then, Luna?
He's here somewhere.
Do you happen to know what Richard Nolan looks like? Have we thought to ask that in our investigations?
Are there posters of him anywhere?
Do you wanna head to one of the doors where like the playbills and stuff are?
Yeah?
You would find headshots of a lot of the main actors on the wall. His is the largest. It's just face and neck, but he appears pretty well built. He's got graying hair and a graying beard that's finely trimmed. He's handsome. He's like generically rich guy handsome.
Sure.
Do we see like the top
He
of
looks
his
like,
shoulders?
broad-shouldered? You know when you meet like an affluent white guy and they've clearly been in like a fraternity. That's kind of what he looks like.
An old frat bro.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, Bernard, I'd say he looks something like that.
You think he looks like he has broad shoulders? Can you tell from a headshot?
Maybe? Well, if it was him wearing that costume, we should check backstage. Perhaps he's put it away to try and lay low. Might pick something up.
Yes. I'm very curious why he decided to attack the bouncer on his way out. Or why he was there in disguise in the first place.
Imagine he didn't want to be seen. Someone this famous would draw eyes naturally.
Why did he care about me?
Perhaps he's heard of us. Either way, he has something to hide.
Indeed. Let's head backstage and see if we can't find Mr. Noland.
Walking through one of the... do you want to go back to the lower level and then go into the theater to get to the backstage, or do you want to go like all the way around the side?
Go through the theater, I think.
Okay. So heading back downstairs, you push through the theater door, and you're greeted by a large theater. It looks like this theater probably can hold a capacity somewhere between 800 and 1,000 people, which is pretty large for one of these theater houses at this time period. And there's a strewn collection of about a dozen people. Most of them look like actors. Kind of just chatting with each other. Most of them don't even really pay attention when all of you walk in. One that's sitting in a seat alone, fairly close to the doorway, kind of leaned back, does shift and look up. He's a young man. New stagehands?
What is it written on my face?
Just, you look stagehandy. No offense. John Jones.
Fillion. We were just heading backstage to start the cleanup.
Enjoy. I wouldn't go in the back room because there's usually somebody having sex back there, and that's awkward.
Aye.
Other than that, enjoy, okay?
I'm sure it will be amazing.
Yeah, it's weird.
That was sarcasm.
Make perception tests really quick. Actually, make awareness tests. This is against a target number of 12.
7.
8.
Yeah, neither of you notice anything out of the ordinary during this conversation. Sorry I asked. Pushing past the heavy curtains and heading up the side steps on the left side of the stage, all of you find yourself in the general area of the backstage where it was directed, that you would find the props and costuming rooms. Go to make perception tests. Target number 15.
9.
15.
So you're able to easily figure out which keys are going to go to these doors. You're not super worried about that. You do notice, lingering behind the dropped curtain on the main stage, is a woman. She looks sullen. Kind of a long sadness that slowly sunk into the pale of her face. Her back is mostly turned to you, but her face is kind of shifted. You can see she's looking up. That look of sadness giving way to a look of surprise. Philium, a porcelain mask lingers up amongst the rope, the ties of the many droppable and shiftable curtains across this large stage. And then you see her, a single thin hand reaching to her neck as she sinks to the ground. When you look back up to the curtains, the porcelain mask shifts in the darkness and disappears.
Our target is up there, but we should see if she's fine.
Luna moves out ahead of both of you, looking up at the curtains, and kind of like, she's like staying in view, but she's keeping a little bit of like a distance, tried to like sink into the darkness.
I'm gonna run up to the woman and see what's happening.
When you roll her over, you see the face, an almost exacting look, a sharp nose with small indents, remarkably unique. You've only seen them on one other woman, Esmeralda. This woman is older than her by probably a couple decades, but does look very much like her. Her hand is clasped to her throat, and you see a wood, you're not sure what type of wood, but like dart with a feathered end that's sunk into her throat.
Is she breathing, or is she gone?
She's breathing. Her eyes are partially open. Her eyelids are partially open, and her eyes look like they've rolled back. She's starting to foam at the mouth a little bit.
I'll take the dart out.
Do I think heal would do anything in this situation against poison?
You guys could make medicine tests against a target number of 10. You could make a lore test instead, because you are in Druidcraft.
I am equally horrible at both of those and cannot hit a 10.
All right. You're unsure. You're like feeling pretty 50-50 if heal would help in this situation. Are you paying attention to this, or are you looking for the person above? Because you can only do one of those things like exactingly.
I would probably push Bernard to the side and say, "Go look for the man. I'll handle her." And
You're Bernard.
Sorry, yeah, I'll push William to the side. And
Confused. I was like, "Coach, Josh dropped a secret character on me."
right.
I was just gonna roll with it.
Yeah, no, I'll push William to the side and say, "Look for the man. I'll handle her."
Right, save that dart for me.
Fillium, you're gonna rush to the other side of the stage.
Yep, I'm gonna see how.
What do you want? What are you telling Luna to do? Do you want Luna to go with him or stay with you?
I'll tell Luna to accompany Fillium.
Okay. Luna looks at you and then rushes into the curtains.
Make sure to guard him well.
You looking down, the dart is still sunk in the neck, and you can actually see lines, like the veins are running black.
I will pull out the dart, and then I will put my mouth over the wound and start sucking out the poison and spitting it out.
All right. This is a medicine test. Or I'll let you do a constitution test.
Constitution is better.
It's going to be against a 10, but I'm going to make it easy because you thought of it. So it's really going to be a 7.
Okay. Six.
Oh. So you do manage to drain some of it, but not before you can tell she's going into some kind of like anaphylactic shock, like she's having a seizure now in your arms. Also, you would notice a side effect of drawing it out and then spitting it is your tongue and your lips have gone just like numb, basically.
I assume that would happen. As she starts going into the seizures, I'll go, well, I hope I got enough out of her for this to work, and I'll cast heal on her.
Go ahead and make a power test for me. against a target number of 10.
God.
I'm going to tell you that because your character's in this situation, you know this test is probably for her life.
Yes. Hold on. I don't know why, but my power box is blank on this character sheet, so let me look at my notes and see if I took 2 power. Okay. So I should have a 2 then.
Okay.
I need to fix that.
You probably deleted the 0 and then forgot to enter the 2.
Probably. 10.
Okay. The heal washes over her body and the shaking dies down. Her eyes open and she looks up at you weakly. She doesn't seem to be able to form words.
Don't worry, Esther. You had a brush with death. You should be alright now, though.
Alright, now I want you to roleplay that again as if your mouth is completely numb.
Don't worry, Esther. You had a brief brush with death, but you should be fine now.
Oh my god, that was awesome.
Perfect.
You know what? That was... You can have this momentum back. It's on me. That was awesome. She'll just kind of squint at you and nod slowly. Now that didn't take very long, but that did take you almost like a full minute. So cutting away from you, rushing through the curtains. Philium, looking above, you see the mask lingering in the darkness. It's really the only thing you can make out. You can barely make out the shape of the person, but they appear to be very, athletic. Like, they're leaping from post to post, and they're moving ahead of you. And then they drop down on the opposite side of the stage as you see they're running to a side stage door to the alley to the side of the theater.
It seems like they're heading outside, Luna. Let's try and cut them off.
She rushes around one of the curtains and she leaps up at him to try to cut him off from the door before he pushes through it. As you lift your cane up in your hand, you see the man reach out with an arm and smack her away from him as he pushes out into the alley. What would you like to do?
I would still like to give chase.
All right. When you follow him out into the alley, you feel that sixth sense of danger come about you. And what is your initiative?
2. Ooh, I think I have a thing for that. Yeah, anticipation. My initiative is agility plus wisdom, so 4.
Okay. Just a moment. Okay. You feel this incoming strike and you sidestep, parrying away this bronze scepter with your cane. The two of you stand alone in this alley. What would you like to do?
Well, I say you're going to pay dearly for attacking my good friend, Luna.
As you say that, the door pushes open and Luna steps out, growling onto the cobblestones. He shifts and he looks at her, and then the mask shifts again, looking back at you. Twirls the scepter in the hand. You still got a deed? You still got to move?
It's not too late to give up. I'm gonna try and go crack the cane at his leg to try and stop him from running somewhere.
Got it. Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll against him.
Oof, 6.
He had an 8. He steps away, from that strike. Luna growls and tries to move to the other side of him. He looks back and forth. He looks to Luna again, looks to you again, and then he brings the scepter up and he swings out at you. I need you to make a dodge for me.
Okay.
Matt.
Yes.
I also have the defend command for Luna.
Do you want to use
her
that on?
to guard him?
Okay.
The thing says that we can both see if I'm not there, but I told her to guard him. Would that still?
Yeah, I think that's fine. What does it do?
So she gets to make an attack against him as a reaction.
Okay,
and they get to add 2 to their dodge roll.
So you're adding 2 to this dodge roll, and you're seeing her lunge in at him as he attacks you. Yikes.
5?
Yikes. Yeah. She does lunge in, and she actually deals 1 point of damage as she bites at his leg. However, when he swings out, he cracks you in the side of the head with the scepter, and it is 3 bludgeoning damage.
Well, I stop 1 of that, and then take 2 and go unconscious.
Well, wait a moment. There's this ringing about your head as you hit the ground, and as that ringing runs through your mind, I need you to go ahead and make a resolve test for me against a target number of 10.
Okay, what kind of roll is that?
Resolve. It's a willpower.
Okay. Against a 10?
Yes.
I'm gonna momentum, otherwise I can't meet it.
Sounds good.
Six.
6.
Short.
There's this kind of whooshing going through your head, and you just fall completely unconscious. Go ahead and you make an immediate recovery test, and that is going to be, this is the first time you've gone down, so that's going to be against a 3.
What is the check for recovery?
It's a you can choose between willpower and constitution, whichever you would like to use.
I will use Constitution.
Are they the same?
Constitution is better.
Oh wow, I'm surprised.
I have
you
a 1
have 2 health. Okay, smart.
Oh, that's a 5.
Okay. You passed. A moment passes. About a minute after this, minute and a half, Bernard, you're pushing open the alley door. You see an unconscious Philium sprawled out on the ground with what looks like a pretty severe head injury, like definitely at the very least something that's going to cause a concussion. Blood running down the side of his scalp, and you see huddled over him, whining and growling, Luna. Otherwise, the alley is empty.
I will rush over to Philium and cast heal on him.
Philium.
At second level, so you get both of your health points back.
Strength 2, bro.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna think we're playing D&D.
Yeah, I know. I forgot the right.
If I really wanted you to not mix it up, I wouldn't have made it so similar. That's on me.
And does Luna look hurt, or was
yes,
she just?
She is injured. She looks like she got struck once as well. She just took it a bit better.
Okay, I'll spend my last ether to heal Luna 1.
Okay. Perfect. I've run the healer out of healing.
Yes, you have.
She looks up at you.
Is also the DPS in the tape for the next one.
She looks up at you, and she kind of sticks her head out and she licks your hand. He got away. I injured him, but he got away.
The blood trail should make him easier to follow for us. You did very good, Luna. I'll pull out a trait and give it to her.
Luna did far better than I did. Dare I say he's a bit beyond me, at least this time.
Dangerous.
I do believe that is our actual target, though. I believe that weapon definitely could have left those shavings.
The fact that he attacked somebody, nearly killed her, and then nearly killed you, I would say is pretty good evidence that he is our suspect.
Yes.
I did manage to save Eth's life. Just remember, my mouth is supposed to be numb.
You got this.
I thought the poison out of her throat.
You notice that like his lips are kind of like stained and stuff. His tongue's all blown up.
Well, give me just a moment, and then he can't have gotten too far yet.
No, it probably has it. We could probably track him and catch up to that.
I assume you're saying something about following his tracks of blood.
Shake my head.
Quite right. And Luna. Probably got a better sense of his scent now.
Yeah, she's already like sniffing out ahead of all of you guys. The two of you.
Esther is also alive inside.
I think between the two, we should go after him.
Very well.
This time with you.
Alright. You want to take off after?
Yeah.
The man in the porcelain mask? Alright. There's a brief glimpse from Esther at the stage, and then you shut the door, and the two of you, following Luna out ahead as she takes off, head back out into the alleys. I think that's where we're going to end our session. I thought you were going to talk to Esther, not going to lie. I also didn't know if you were going to win or lose in the alley.
I was hoping that Luna Guardian would give him the edge.
Yeah, it was rough that your very first dodge
terrible.
test was so bad, yeah. Because like if you had dodged that first one and Luna had gotten another attack too, and then he had attacked you, she would have gotten another attack. Sometimes
Luck of the dice.
Sometimes the fight is short in this system.
Yeah.
Hey, at least I didn't die.
True.
That defend command is pretty fucking good though.
Yeah. The calling ain't bad.